He was only 12, just a kid with a dream and a piano. But when he walked up to that stage, everything changed. The crowd didn't see his talent, his passion, or his innocence. They saw something else, something that would decide whether he belonged or not. In that moment, the weight of history pressed down on a child who just wanted to play. What happened next would shock everyone and reveal a truth too many still choose to ignore. For 12-year-old Jamal, life was simple, at least it should have been. He loved school, his friends, and most of all, the piano. Every afternoon, he would sneak into the old community center, fingers dancing across the keys like they were born to play. Music wasn't just a hobby for him, it was an escape, a place where he could be free. People who heard him swore he played with the soul of someone far older, his melodies filled with raw emotion. But outside those four walls, the world didn't always see Jamal for who he truly was. They didn't see a gifted child with dreams bigger than his small town. They saw only his skin color. And in a world where judgment came faster than understanding, Jamal's gift was often overlooked. One summer evening, while a local band was setting up for a small-town concert, Jamal stood at the edge of the crowd, eyes wide, heart racing. All he wanted was one chance, just one, to sit at that piano and let the music speak. But what he didn't know was that stepping forward would not just test his courage. It would expose something much darker, something buried deep in the hearts of those watching. And it would change how everyone in that square remembered that night forever. The square buzzed with energy that night. Families gathered with folding chairs, children darted between the crowd, and the smell of popcorn drifted through the summer air. On stage, the band tuned their instruments, laughing and joking among themselves. Jamal stood at the edge, his small hands clutching the railing, eyes locked on the piano. Every note that drifted from it felt like a call, like it was waiting for him. Finally, he gathered the courage. He stepped forward, heart hammering, and asked the band if he could play just one song. For a moment, there was silence. The guitarist chuckled under his breath. The drummer exchanged a look with the bassist. Then came the words that sliced through the air like a blade. "This isn't for kids. Why don't you run along?" Jamal's cheeks burned, but he didn't move. "Please," he whispered, barely audible. A few people in the crowd began to notice the exchange. Some smiled with pity, others frowned in disapproval. One man muttered, "He doesn't belong up there." The band's leader shook his head, waving him off, but Jamal didn't leave. His heart told him this was his chance. Then, one voice rang out from the crowd. "Let him play." A few clapped in support, but just as quickly, others shouted back, "Don't waste our time!" "Not here!" The divide spread like fire, voices rising, the cheerful atmosphere twisting into something sharp and uncomfortable. The band huddled, whispering. The leader finally sighed and gestured to the piano. "Fine. 1 minute. Don't mess it up." Jamal's hands trembled as he slid onto the bench. For a second, everything went quiet. He pressed the first key, and the sound floated out, soft, fragile, but pure. Then another, and another. Within moments, the hesitant notes bloomed into something extraordinary. His fingers danced with skill beyond his years, filling the square with music so alive it silenced the restless crowd. But not everyone was moved. A man near the back scowled, muttering to those beside him, "They're making a show of it, just a stunt." Another shook his head, arms crossed. Jamal's gift was undeniable, yet to them his skin overshadowed his music. Then, just as the melody reached its peak, a shout cut through the air, "Get that boy off the stage!" Gasps rippled through the crowd. Jamal's hands faltered for a split second, but he kept playing, his music trembling but unbroken. The tension in the square was no longer just about a child at a piano. It was about something deeper. Who was allowed to belong, and who wasn't. Every note he played was a challenge, every chord a defiance. The air thickened with unspoken truths, and everyone watching knew this night was no longer about music. It was about to become something much bigger. The square held its breath. Jamal's fingers raced across the keys, pouring out a melody that should have been met with awe, but the shouts grew louder. "Enough!" someone bellowed. Another voice followed, sharper, uglier. "He doesn't belong here!" The music faltered for a heartbeat. Jamal looked up. Faces in the crowd blurred together, some with wonder, others twisted with scorn. His chest tightened, but he forced his hands to keep moving. Every note was a plea. "See me. Hear me. Let me exist." Then, it happened. A man stormed toward the stage, his footsteps pounding like thunder. He pointed, his voice cracking through the silence. "Get him off now! This is our stage, not his." The band froze, unsure. The leader shifted uncomfortably, torn between the music and the pressure. For Jamal, time slowed. He had dreamed of this moment his entire short life, but instead of applause, he was surrounded by anger, anger that had nothing to do with wrong notes, but with who he was. His small frame shook, but he refused to stop. The melody grew stronger, defiant, like a flame refusing to be snuffed out. Some in the crowd rose to their feet, clapping, shouting encouragement. Others booed, their words dripping with venom. The square was split in two, divided not by music, but by hate. The man on stage reached for Jamal's shoulder, ready to drag him away. For a second, Jamal's fingers froze above the keys. His heart pounded. Was this it? The end of his song, the end of his chance to be heard? Or could he finish, no matter what they did? And in that moment, with the world watching, Jamal made a choice that no 12-year-old should ever have to make. The man's hand hovered, ready to drag Jamal from the piano. But then something remarkable happened. A wave of applause broke through the shouting. Dozens stood, clapping, cheering, drowning out the voices of hate. Jamal's song swelled, fierce and unshaken, until his final note echoed through the night. When the sound faded, the square was silent again. But this time, it was a silence heavy with realization. Jamal didn't walk away with a trophy, or even the band's approval. What he carried instead was far greater. He had stood his ground. He had refused to be silenced. In doing so, he exposed the truth, that even the purest gift, music itself, could not escape the shadows of prejudice. For the boy, that night became a memory both painful and powerful, one that would shape how he saw himself and the world around him. But for those who watched, the impact was just as lasting. Some left with shame burning in their hearts, forced to confront their own silence. Others left inspired, realizing that courage can come from the smallest of voices. And so, Jamal's story is not just about a child at a piano. It is about every black child who has been told they don't belong, every dream cut short by bias, every moment where talent, innocence, and humanity were overshadowed by the color of skin. The question is, how many more Jamals will have to prove their worth before the world simply lets them be? And when the next child steps forward with a dream, will we silence them or finally listen?